We're ready for you guys.
Transition that over. Turn me on you, oh, it's asked to unmute. Unmute.
You should be able to go quickly.
Yeah, good. So you do start. Go.
Well, hello there.
Oh no, just Miss B's camera. That's her laptop. That's her laptop. Yeah, we can do that.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Not this. Not this.
That's not.
All righty then. We ready to go. Miss B, take it
All
away.
right, everyone, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to talk with us about some smart money news and business reviews. We've got some exciting conversations that are going to happen. Um, we're going to kind of segue back a little bit to last week's show when we had Mr. Alfred, Mr. Brian Ross, and Miss Bree on with me. And we were talking about some foundational issues regarding, how we're going to make 2023 the year we want it to be. And we're going to try to do some of those six transactions. I don't know if you guys remember what those were. I'm just going to say them really quick, but not real super fast. Remember the six transactions we had talked about that if you want to make sure that you're doing all you can to help yourself to become more financially well, more financially fit, you and your family, and friends, then One United Bank, they're the largest black bank in the United States, and they've been sharing for, I mean, really a good couple of years now, a real hard, heavy campaign that we know works, and we'll tell you why we gotta know it works. But if each of us would do one of these six transactions, our communities, they really will be stronger. They'll be wealthier. We'll be healthier because, health is wealth. So if you try to do what you can this year to, if you want, own a home, how about having a profitable business? How about making sure you have enough insurance to cover all the different things that can happen in your life, whether it's, auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, health insurance, flood insurance, carpet insurance. There's a whole lot of insurances. But then also saving and investing. We'll talk about that a little bit more today. And how do we make sure that we know what we can save or not? But then when is it time to invest? And do we have the money to do so? Of course, credit, personal credit, and business credit. And then you all allowed me to share a little bit with you about what I do most, and I think I do it pretty well at the Bronx Law Office. I do real estate and from development from beginning to end, but I also heavily talk about that six transaction, making sure that you have a will or a trust, power of attorneys, advanced care directives, beneficiary deeds, that whole piece of what are we doing to make sure that we're getting ourselves in position just to just be as financially well as we can be. So, with that in mind, Bree, say hi to us, and then we're going to introduce our awesome other guest that's with us.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing this evening? So excited to hear Miss V talking about the six transactions and how we can make a difference in our community. I'm excited to talk to Miss Monica as well. Let's go.
Absolutely. And so, I don't know if you guys remember last week when we were kind of just logging in. Again, I thank everyone again for tuning in to KUAW, radio to listen to us on kind of going into really our fourth year of a launch in regards to our financial empowerment circle. And I talked with you all last week. You all met a couple of those people. You met Mr. Alfred and you met Mr. Ross, two of the people who helped us to get that circle moving. And I mentioned you, there's two other people. So we have one of those people on with us today, and her name is Miss Monica McMillan. And you guys know Miss Monica McMillan. She's just an awesome person. She's an awesome mom. That's kind of how I met her first through a kind of a mom thing. But she is all about sharing what she knows about finances and putting things in action. And so she'll tell you a bit more about how she got with us or how do we get with her or whatever. So please say hello to us, Miss Monica.
Well, hello. I'm Marnica McMillan, and I was brought into the Financial Empowerment Circle by Miss Valencia. As she mentioned, we had some connections. We had worked on some projects that she had fostered and helped my daughter get into college and get a full ride scholarship. So that's kind of how our friendship began. And so when this idea came about, as far as empowering the individual as well as the community, I was all on board when she mentioned it to me. And so I've been a part of it, I guess, from the beginning.
Absolutely. You have. She's part of one. She's the number four of that Fab Five I've told you about, meaning just those of us who started it together. But we've got now a whole empowerment circle. We've got at least like 35 people that, as I share with you guys, we've been meeting weekly for 3+ years now, every Saturday, and with some breaks, holidays, stuff like that. Just doing our best to kind of in our own lives individually to really implement things that we learned through that financial jeopardy competition that your beautiful daughter participated in. And if you can, Miss Monica, and we won't stay on you. We'll kind of move around with some topics, but if you can share as a mom, having your daughter's or just your child, your daughter's college paid for in full, what type of just financial relief did that maybe bring to you as a mom?
Oh my gosh, that was tremendous because unfortunately, I'm still in college loan debt. So, this circle helped me kind of help my daughter to understand how significant it is to have your college tuition paid for. Um, and that's why our connection was so important. Um, I am someone that, and I think this happens in a lot of households, especially households of color, where, or at least in my generation, where parents, and I was raised by a single mom, and I'm also a single mom. Um, they didn't discuss finances. I just knew my mom took care of everything. I always had what I needed, but there wasn't a lot of discussion about money. And so with that, becoming an adult and then becoming a single mom, I understand why parents maybe want to keep their kids shielded from financial struggles, but I also think that it's extremely important for them to know if things are tight, if your parents, if your family is going through a financial crisis, to just be honest with the kids and let them know. So with that in mind, um, it was very important for my daughter Madison to understand that receiving this scholarship is something that she needs to be grateful for all of her life, because having student loan debt is such a tremendous burden, and it can hold you back in a lot of different areas of your life. Hold you back in your finances, and so it was extremely important that she understand uh, the blessing that was, and I was so fortunate to be. Like I said, if it hadn't been for our connection, Valencia, she'd be in student loan debt like her mom.
And it happens. And I want to differentiate with Ms. Madison. We just helped her to put all of her credentials together to go and get those loans, apply for the loans, and then her church, based on other things, helped her to get that. And so I want to share that, yes, through our connection, we help to say, hey, try this school, try some things. And then we definitely talked about, there's money out there for that. There's money out there, for you to go to school. And then she went after it. So, we'll take credit for being her circle, but we definitely want to give Miss Madison and mom seriously some, really some of that credit because you kept her. She worked hard, grades, all that stuff. And sometimes our kids, they do all of that and they still may not, be able to go like where they want to go, or we don't go get the money just because we don't know. When I knew, of course, you were going to come on and talk with us, when we went down to the EOC office, the Education Opportunity Center office down in the Bank of America, and they're a place that anybody, older or younger, trying to go back to school, they can help you to apply for scholarships, they can help you to get your loans and default and all sorts of stuff. So we always try to take the kids, our young students, high school students down there, and we try to want the parents to come. So we took all these pictures with them because we were like, okay, yep, they're gonna have. They gave us a whole scholarship list. They gave us so much information. There's so much money out there, and there's these agencies that do it. I mean, we don't have to even do it all. So I just want to say thank you about that because that whole piece of that debt free thing. If what if we all were debt free and knew how to stay debt free? We could still. Oh, wait, what was that? What you thinking, Miss Bree? What you think?
No, I mean that's just a powerful statement. I mean, even as you say it, what if we were debt free? I just think of all the opportunities that open up for folks. Maybe even not even just the opportunities, but your mindset. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities out there, but if your mindset's not right to receive it, then so not being in debt, I know for sure frees up a lot of folks.
Absolutely. Especially with that, that debt to income ratio. Sometimes we talked, remember last week, it's, you can make a certain amount of good money and you can say, well, I make $50,000 a year, so I should be able to get the house I want or, whatever it is. But if you have lots of student loans, lots of other debts, other items where the bank who basically wants to make sure they can get their money back, if they loan you money to buy a house, that is an asset. But if you have a big debt to income ratio, then they're going to say, even though you make a lot of money, that's good, but you don't know how to manage your money. So you may not pay this back. So they may not give you the loan. So then you can go get a personal loan, a consolidation loan to consolidate, but you still have built up some other debt. You got to wait on your house. That's all I'm going to say about that, because again, often what I'm seeing is people, we're making money. We have jobs, we're making things happen, but how do we do that part there? And that's why I wanted Miss Martha to come on as not, I mean, just as a mom and someone who helped us to really start this financial empowerment circle. And it's been amazing. We'll talk more about that. But your daughter benefited then and has done some things now. So hopefully someday soon she'll come on and tell us more about her experience too. Things she learned as she has done. So, our young leaders are amazing, and we want to make sure we're hearing from them. Like, yeah, I'm listening. I'm, so that's pretty powerful stuff, you guys. One of the things we also talked about last week, so I want to bring it back forward a little bit, is Mr. Brian Ross, of Edward Jones. He talked about one of the things that he really wants people to think about before they say, I want to invest is he wants them to say, okay, where am I though? So if I want to invest, I'm going to go see a financial advisor, and then they're going to say, well, how much money a month, can you invest? And if we really have no idea, then just like anything else, sometimes they can't help. So we're still, kind of at stage one. So after that call, I told you guys, after I looked at all of my stuff, all these extra things I have, $270, but that's all. So it got me to thinking, well, I wonder what other people could get rid of. And you don't have to like say exactly what it is, but some examples of, things that as people are listening, And you all do know, and Mr. George Walker, we're going to ask him to talk to us in a minute, making sure that you know if you want to, how to call in and talk to us, share with us. You have questions or thoughts, you can call in and we'll answer questions. Our focus today is, just again touching on those six transactions, just a little more deeper, but specifically really talking about how we're going to make sure that we are looking at ways to foundationally, let's figure out what we got going on. So that budget stuff, just so you know, we're going to dive in and out of that a little bit. So, what are probably some things over the years, past 2, 3 years, as we've been doing this, that you may have, kind of done away with or cut, either of you, like those extra expenses, or that you might, some extra stuff out your budget.
Well, for me, I will say I started out. So I am also a client of Mr. Brian Ross of Edward Jones, and I started out. Well, I don't. I say small. Like I said, it's hard to know what's what's big, what's average, but I knew I needed to start something because I wanted to start preparing for retirement. So, with that being said, um, I started out in about a year. I doubled what I started, and so um, and what I cut out was, well, I reduced some things. So I I researched cable, and I got rid of cable and got a Roku box. That cut my cable bill in half. I did some research on my cell phone bill because I cover myself, my daughter, and my mom, and I was able to maybe cut about a third, cut that bill, up by a third. And then I had a credit card with my credit union and talked with them, realized that I was eligible to get my interest rate reduced. So that meant my monthly payment could be reduced because now, I'm on a different interest level track. So those were a few things that I did early on. And just recently, I switched insurance companies. I am now with Miss Devoya, Marshall, I believe is her name.
Yes, yes.
And actually, she helped me to realize I didn't have enough coverage on certain things. So, um, so with that being said, it did go up slightly, but I feel more comfortable with the coverage that I have. If anything happens, I know there won't be an issue as far as there will things be taken care of. So that helped me at least to get started. And those were some of the things that I looked at to save on, or and stopped eating out so much, cooking more at home. And that was fun because actually Madison likes to cook. So that really did help us have more family time and save money.
Absolutely. See, y'all, the reason, and I'm asking, then Brie, I'll come to you, and then, or I'll share it, is as we think about, we want to say, hey, you all should do these things to make your life better and greater. But I want to share, we're walking the talk too. And we've been walking it together for 3 years, which is what then we were like, we didn't want to share it some more. And so, great segue for KUAW radio, Mr. George Walker. If you can, share about KUAW and, of course, what it stands for, because that fits right into what we're doing. Just say hello to us and let us know how we can call in and ask questions or anything if we have one.
Why, sure we can. Right now, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And the call-in number, if you have questions for those that are that you're watching right now, it's on the screen. You see it says 816-599-6893. So if you have any money questions, call in at 816-599-6893. For those of you that are listening on the audio-only side, which is our TuneIn app or Get Me Radio. Or if you have a Google Smart Speaker, tell that Amazon speaker to play KUAW and we'll come in on that. We're also on the online radio box. We're on Roku, and you can pick us up on your Fire Stick.
You know,
So we're on 24 hours a day. We broadcast news, information, some R&B, some smooth jazz, all of that. KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And now back to the Smart Money broadcast.
thank you, Eddie. Great. He has that voice. I know. So, Miss Bree, can you share with us, a few things or thoughts, because as you being, and thank you, Miss Monica, you being a real estate agent, I think you also probably make sure to with your clients sometimes, because buying a house, we sometimes, unless we have certain programs that maybe you'll tell us about, soon, maybe here or there, one or two in here, we got to have, down payments. So we got to save for that sometimes. So what are things that you may cut out sometimes or share with clients, ways to get deposits for their houses they're trying to buy?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I mean, there's quite a few unique ways you can go about it. The first one I would say is whenever I'm talking to a client or I'm having that appropriate conversation is just making sure that now is a time for their family, right? Sometimes they'll come and they'll say, hey, I want to buy a house. What are my first steps? Well, we'll have that transparent conversation when it comes down to credit score and DTI, meaning debt to income ratio, and then like what your expenses are, pretty much kind of what you want to spend a month. I do ask them what they do have in their savings sometimes. Sometimes I do leave that conversation to be with a lender just because, I have my lane. I'm the realtor lane. But I do allow for those who, have different parts in the transaction to take their lane as well. But just kind of having that transparent conversation about having your finances in line is the most important. When it comes down to my clients, because sometimes people don't know that you do need to know what your debt to income ratio is. Everyone's just focused on the credit score, or sometimes folks may, have a ideal that they want a $350,000 house, but maybe your income only allows for 250 or 295. Just being able to understand where your finances are and have as much of an understanding of that as possible before you do come and talk to a lender or a realtor, even while you're coming up to us. I also get you in directions with, other credit repair companies, one of those 6 transactions, woohoo.
Right.
And then, other things that you can do to get yourself in play. So,
Absolutely. I want to just touch on that credit just for a second, and we'll hit it heavier next week. But I want to touch on it in this way: credit, whether it is for a home or for a car or insurance, our credit matters because we often get lower interest rates because our personal credit is better. And then with business credit, if you have a business, if your business credit score is good, you can get business loans. But again, you're going to be able to get more, equipment and different things like that because of your credit. So we're always going to just try to make sure that we're touching on why we even keep mentioning these 6 things, and we'll continue to bring on individuals that can just help us to do more from an accountability standpoint. Just want to just mention that since you mentioned it.
amen.
So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I cut out. Like, and thank you, Miss Bree. Like Miss Monica, I cut out the eating so much. So I had this bad habit. So I would like things would go really, really great. I get these wins and just, during the week. So I would like sneak by McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I just want to say, I'd sneak by McDonald's and I grab me, a small bag of fries, not even a big one, a small bag of fries and a cookie, and then I could go home and get my own coffee there. But that was kind of my treat thing. And I was doing that, sometimes 2, 3 times a week, because if I like, get a client or have a good court date or whatever was happening, I'm like, yeah, pat myself on the back, because we have to do that. When things are going great, we got to say in whatever area, you're doing great. You are doing great, Lindsay. You are doing great, Monica. You're doing great, Bree. Those, affirmations we gotta say we're doing great. So I did it with French fries and cookies. Do you know that a small bag of fries, I'm just telling you. A small bag of fries, not even the milk, it's $2.49, two
Mm-hmm.
dollars and
Adds up.
fifty cents. So that's like $10 a week, really, because I'm getting the cookies too. But luckily, the three cookies for $1.69. So the cookies are cheaper than the fries. So I'd always say I'm only spending $5. But because I was doing it 2 times a week, it was adding up. Now I only go once a week. That's it. And I don't get the cookies. I don't get the fries. That's because I need to go eat all them carbs. But that's my treat for me. So cutting that stuff out. I used to buy a lot of coffee on the go. And I like Quick Trip and stuff like that. And but I make it, at home a whole lot more, because I can make it. I love the coffee, so what's the big deal? But just cutting down those things. And the reason I did it is really because of the group as well. Because I'm like, I can have a house, especially when I met people, honestly, that looked like me and could help me to get things that I that I wanted, and they were making things happen. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. So, so I did. So that's myself, with Mr. Ross and just the group here started really saving more. I had a savings account. I had a savings account, but I never really put a lot of stuff in it. So one of the things that Mr. Versey Larkin, he's our fifth, Fab Five. He'll join us soon to say hi. One of the things in his book, Make It Rain, that he talks about is with that saving piece, you just take all your change, like at the end of a week and or a month. I don't remember exactly, but oh, she's got the book, y'all. So you take your change, and like if you spend $10, you get 90 cents change. Don't keep spending the change, like save it, and then you put it in the bank. So I did that for a while, and that works because I always have lots of change. But also make it rain with the change. But there's lots of good nuggets in there, and that's a good way that it wraps around, our six transactions. And so I'm going to try to right at about 7:52, just so y'all listen. I'm going to try to give a financial Jeopardy question. I just want to share, and we're going to have one for. I know we're going to have one for our high school students, if you have, so you could be a family of a high school student. And once we give you this question, it's for a high schooler, whoever can either chat with us or call in with an answer, then well, I'm going to give them a copy of Mr. Versey's book. So I just want to share. It's a great book. Um, so with that though, I forgot. Oh, so definitely the fries, and the cookies, cookies for sure, because that was just out of control anyway. But I quit that, and I don't drive as much. So I used to just kind of drive around a lot, just because I like to go places, and just drive around and think and talk on my phone. I do that a lot. I'm just, I'm supposed to be going somewhere and I just drive around. So here, put another 20 and put 20 in the gas tank. And I said, what am I doing? Especially with the pandemic, we saved a lot of money on gas. So then when we could get out again, I started driving around a lot more. But so I noticed that and just cooking at home. And I'll tell you about that side hustle. So one of the things that, and I share this with a lot of people, is in Mr. Versey's book. He says, let's just say again, $50,000, a year. And let's say that you want to invest, but for some reason you believe that you don't have any money to invest because you have all these other things that you see, I've got to do this and I can't put all my money away because, as Mr. Ryan had told us, even on the call last week, when you think about investing, not the saving part, but investing, you want to be really ready to let that money sit there for 3 to 5 years. So often we can't think, I'm just going to let this money go and I can't touch it for 3 to 5 years. I have all these things to do, right? Right. And we really can, but sometimes you have to, see it. So Mr. Versey's book, he talked about, and we talked about it a lot on the show and gave each other tips. So if you think that it's not in your just your regular salary or whatever, then go get a side hustle. Go get a side hustle. Whether it's throwing some papers or doing something. And sometimes, I work, for a companion company, meaning legal companion, not nothing crazy. Let me just clarify that real quick. That is come out right. So, but I do that, and that's the money that I invest with. And I just say that because, and it worked because I do what I love to do anyway. So whether for me, it's, working with senior citizens or working with young people, I would pretty much do that for free anyway. And so we talked about if you're going to do a side hustle to invest, it has to be something you would do anyway. It has to be turn your hobby into some money to invest. And I've done that. And I've told y'all some stories last week about how doing that really helped me to just have dollars, especially in pinches that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't been saving. So, different ways to do that. That's
Love
all I'm
that.
saying. So, yes, go, go, go.
No, 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 I didn't have anything to say. I
You're
just
thinking.
confirmation. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Yeah.
Going back to what Miss Bree said earlier, about being ready. So I've often shared this group and being a part of the group, and I've invited friends to come along and to join in on the Zoom meetings, and they might come for one or two, but I think we have to be ready to make the sacrifices to give up the cookies and fries or, scale it back a little bit. Um, and so the empowerment group came at a time where I was ready. I was ready to make some sacrifices to, how does the saying go? I'm sure Mr. Versie has said it about, um, living something about living how yeah, I get living poor basically or living
Living below
below
your
your
means.
means
Yes.
so later you can have
Retirement,
right
saving, all that. Go,
right
girl. Yes.
you know what I'm trying to say. Forgive me for
Yes.
not having
Yes.
that quote down, but you have to be ready. So like when you we can say, oh, I want to buy a home, I'm ready to be in a house, but if we're not ready to look at our finances and really go through them with a keen eye and be ready to give up some things, it it won't happen. So I just wanted to say that I have
You're right.
invited friends or we can share this information, and while we're excited about it, folks have to be excited too. So, but I also think it's important to keep dropping it in their ear, letting them know. And then like we're doing tonight, like Valencia shared her story and I shared my story, as far as like ready to give things up and this success came because I gave this up and I'll just be transparent about my savings. There was a time where I would put money in savings every paycheck, but before my 2 weeks was up, it was gone.
There was
Before the
something to
next
buy.
paycheck came, yeah, before the next
Yes,
paycheck
yes, yes.
came, that savings was back down to, where it was. And so,
You're not
ready
alone.
to give that ready to give up those cycles, of spending, and really having a significant savings or paying some things off and not, recreating debt if you don't have to. Those things are so important, but it's hard and you have to be ready to do it. So yeah, that's just a tidbit about being ready. And then like with young people, I'll just say like with my daughter, I'll share with her, and she's usually in the background when we've been on Zoom for these last 3 years. She's around here somewhere, but rarely sat down and just engaged, but she was listening, and I know she's receiving all that. And so while she doesn't have to pay her mom any rent or anything like that, um just little things that I see her do as far as making better choices than she would have had she not had this in the background or seeing me make some changes in our lives. I know she's making better choices with her finances because of that.
Absolutely. No, no, that is good. And it leads me to our first question. And what we're going to do is I'm going to say the question. And I know that our production team, engineering production team is Paris, she's going to, they're going to type it in. And so what's going to happen at 7:58, if someone answers, they're going to say who it is, and then we're going to then make sure that we set up a time to, kind of meet you to say hi and get you that book. Maybe you'll come see us. So the question is, because it's 7:52, this is for high schoolers. One moment. These smartphones are too smart for me. Sorry. Okay. So, what is earned income? What is earned income? And what I want to share, because that's a question for a high schooler, and remembering that if you're a high schooler, your family can help you with the question, but the person who answers it eventually has to be a high school student. So you'll have to, that's why you have to meet us and all that and let us know you're a high school student. What is earned income? And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because we're talking about income and money and all of that. And do we even know what it is? And so sharing it with, older people, all of us. So what we want to do is make sure that we're giving you that thought. We want just anyone who answer by 7:58 with the right answer. 7:58, we're going to have our production team let us know if anyone answered that question for the high schooler. And if they did, they're going to tell us. And that high schooler or and the high school's family are welcome to say,
Yeah. Have to find a way. Can we put it under this lead? I mean, under the yeah.
but if
Sound is going.
What is she on? Her sound is fine, so I have to continuously playing. Not happy.
What will turn click the ES, put your cursor over there.
Absolutely. So, Fun Friday is a fun segment, part of Smart Money News and Business Reviews. Just an opportunity for us to be very interactive with our listeners, our subscribers, and patrons of Kansas City, Missouri. So, one of the ways that we're wanting to begin tackling into Fun Fridays is visiting different restaurants around the city, places that Miss Denia deems wonderful for our culinary palates. And then, in addition to finding ways where we can involve like the culture of Kansas City, being able to see different locations, whether we're in River Market or Westport or Merriam, Kansas, Olathe, Overland Park, even out east in Lee Summit and Blue Springs, just getting a different feel of what our metro has to offer, even more so in observance of Black History Month, but then just in general, really just expanding ourselves and showing our patrons and our followers and subscribers what Kansas City has to offer. And you get to have fun with us at the same time.
talk about the circle in just a second. So, question for the middle schoolers. So, middle school, if you're a middle schooler and their family, same thing here. We have a question, and the question is, and it's all these are money related. What is a bank? And remember, Google is your friend. That's what I forgot to say a moment ago. Google is your friend. So you really can Google these answers. And, that's how we learned too. When we did the Jeopardies and all that, we had these questions and we had to answer them with our young people as we were coaches and stuff. And we all learned a lot. So what is a bank? And while I'm saying this, I'm going to go ahead and that was a middle school question for the middle school person and their family. What is a bank? And so remember, we promised three, one for high school, one for middle school, and one for elementary school students. So the question, elementary school students and family, is
No, that's
how can you earn money? And young people, elementary school students, talk to your parents about this question. How can you earn money? What are some different ways that you can earn money? Okay. So we're gonna about probably 90 seconds. It's 7:58. We're gonna wait for a moment, 7:59, and we get some answers to these people, to these questions. They're gonna let us know, and we're gonna come back and talk about.
You see what I mean? Just having a transition.
Well, I think it's not showing up right there. That's at the top, right? Yeah.
She might put like on a map on her wall, in here, in here. So it was like, well, maybe we should do that same thing. Brilliant, brilliant ideas. Brilliant. I miss Bree. How about that? You like that?
Love it.
So I know. I like that. So that way we can hear there. We can just kind of, face it. We kind of just say, where they at now? And so. Um, but you'll stay tuned. And our first Friday, Fun Friday is going to be February 3rd. And you will, based off of if you subscribe and talk to us or draw your email list, you will get that map circle. And you'll be able to know what they have. And so we'll be doing that. So all right. I know about to wrap
The
up,
sheet's quiet.
but
On
I just
Facebook,
want to
she's
know,
quiet.
do we have at this moment, Ms. Harris and Mr. Walker, do we have anybody that's given us an answer to any of our questions? Not yet? Yes?
I don't know. I don't think we have anyone
We don't have
yet.
any, that's okay. We can save it for next week because we're going to keep promoting this. So, because the book is a big thing, and we talked about, eventually, if people, yep, make it rain. Maybe you want some money, maybe you want money cards and stuff. So we'll check into that. So it will, we want to begin to spread the information and have our young leaders and their families to kind of talk to us and learn together. So really pretty excited about that. Very excited. Is Miss Ferris talking to us? What she said?
No, ma'am. I think we're doing a lot of wonderful, great things back there. Production team is hard at work.
They're wonderful. No, good, good. So I know we're going to wrap up because I know we're kind of over just a little bit, but I would love, Miss Monica, for you to, I know I asked you some questions in preparing for today. And when you think about the financial empowerment circle, it's really an accountability coaching circle where we basically say, if you want to do one of these things, we'll try to make sure we're matching with people who can do it. And they have people and systems and stuff like Miss Bree a moment ago said, hey, when a house, my lane is being your realtor. I've got a lender to connect you to. And so for all of us doing the six transactions, yes, I do my role, but there are other people that we need to make sure bringing you in, if something you need for credit or something, we're here to really help make that happen. And so we're going to keep spreading the news, the information, the opportunities and ways you can, contact us. in our businesses and stuff. But we do want to educate and just let you know, man, let's close this wealth gap together and let's be financially fit. That's really what it's about. It's really about that. So that's all I have for smart news and business reviews today. So, ladies, please talk. But I didn't finish my question, did I, Miss Monica? I did not. So I started a thought. Yep, y'all don't let me do that. My question to you is, I apologize. So when you think about the financial empowerment circle, um, you know, has it been like you mentioned, you invite friends and stuff? Do you see ways that you've been able to really here and there help your friends and family to at least connect to some other ways to empower themselves financially? And you have to tell me what they are, but I'm just kind of curious, you know.
Well, I've tried. Shared the various people that are part of the circle. I've shared their information, whatever their specialty is. I've shared that. And like I said earlier, they have to be ready. So I try to like for instance, Mr. Whitney, he has said, the best thing you could do, like he's given me free information. And he said, the best thing you could do for me is, share my information to a person that could be a potential client, and I try to do that like I said, when I've come across some really valuable information and it's like, ooh, that really helped me in a financial way. How can I help you? And like I said, I try to forward those names and websites to others, and
Yeah.
hopefully when they're ready, and then
Yes.
keep letting them know, this is what successes I've had, and oh, it's because of that connection I told you about, things like that, trying to encourage them, and so yeah.
No, no, thank you. I just wanted to ask that because that's why we give the examples, is so that we, and we'll bring more examples on every week because it's with ourselves and other people too, with like friends and stuff. Or, like I've told you guys before, when I started doing this, I was investing, doing some things, and when I learned about it, I shared it with my son and my daughter, the people, and the people like, why you didn't me that before? Well, because I didn't know before,
Hmm.
But the more that, like, okay, I've done this and here, look, often people, as they see us doing it, then, and we share, look what I'm doing. And we got to keep doing it. And then sometimes they will get ready. Sometimes they are ready, just not maybe ready for you to tell them. And I don't want, that's, y'all, but
That's
that's
true.
okay too. That's
Yeah,
okay. Because we can keep on just trying and being together in a circle to help. So empowering ourselves and others. So that's all I know. Let me see. I think um right. Okay. Got you. So let me just share with y'all. It's about time for us to go. I just want to say, okay, I went to Black Wall Street in Atlanta. It was really great. And I'm gonna be trying to go back there to see some stuff next couple of weeks, like maybe Super Bowl or something. I don't know. So I'm excited, y'all, because go Chiefs.
woo.
Yes, go Chiefs. And I won't be in Arizona. I was going to try, but I won't be there because it's too expensive there. But I am going to be trying to be somewhere to just have a big Super Bowl party. You going to go to Arizona, Bree? Is that what I saw?
I
You gonna
love
go?
Arizona. So, yes.
Guys, appreciate you so much. And Miss Monica, we hope that you and our other Fab Five and our experts will come back because it's because of you guys, us helping to spread the word, but we're not the only ones who can spread it. But it's better to spread it in numbers, arm in arm. Iron sharpens iron, right? Okay. All right, peeps. Appreciate you. Any last words or anything before we go on? You're good.
Nothing there.
Miss Bree, you're on mute, Miss Bree. Did you know
Oh,
that?
yeah.
She knows that, doesn't she? It's just like, I don't want to say anything about it. We're going to for sure see everybody for sure next Monday at 7 o'clock. We're going to send out some information before. We're going to try to have a panel of speakers, as many of our 6 experts coming next Monday night. So we're going to try to have all 6 of us there, sharing some information and a couple other people. So just want to let you know. Just want to let you know. So tune in, but we'll send out a couple of little teasers before. We're learning this, and it's fun. I just want to share it's fun, and we've got a great team. We've got Miss Dara, Miss Paris, Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. Walker, Miss Heaven, Miss Jasmine, and Miss JAS, Miss Jasmine. And I know I'm missing people. Oh, Miss Jamaria. We've got so many people that are doing some things behind the scenes to help us make this happen. And I appreciate that they've been able to help me to make this vision come to reality. So I appreciate that a lot. You all have a good night. See you next Monday, but be looking for our Where They At map by Brilliant Bree. Talk to you soon. Have a good night. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. All right. Bye-bye.